Hello, it is time for Let's Talk with Tabatha Love. I am Tabatha Love. I am here with my wonderful friend, Miss Koren Townsend. Hello, Koren. Hi. Yes, so excited. This lady is a busy lady and has a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of experience. And man, if you get Koren Townsend in the house, you have done something. Okay, I have arrived. I'm just kidding. My kids would call that glazing, Koren. Okay, so it is Let's Talk time, and Let's Talk is a time where I get to sit with one of my friends that God has blessed me with. He's put people like you into my life. And I said, hey, can you be my guest? Let's Talk is a place where we come together with friends and we just sit back and kick it. The last Let's Talk I did, Koren, I did on the couch. And I was literally like this with my friend. But today we're here and we're still comfortable. It's still very informal. But the purpose, it's not so much about us. It's about God. And it's about everyday life experiences without being in the pulpit setting, without being all Bible, but still connecting it. Because when you start really learning about God and when you start spending time with God, you can't limit God to the church building.
Yeah.
The church is in the people. Yeah. The church and God is everywhere. And the challenge is sometimes we spend too much time separating God out of our everyday lives as opposed to understanding that God is in every facet of our life. And when we understand that, it makes life so much easier. And so that's the purpose. The Let's Talk is just to talk about something that's an everyday topic or something that we all experience, and doing it in a way that gives God glory and doing it to where it exposes some of the darkness or some of the hidden spots, some of those places where people feel alone and people feel like, why is this happening? And that the church needs to speak to. And one of those issues where Koren is asked, I asked her to come, and there was like multitude of things that she could talk about because her resume is huge. Look at her, I'm glazing again. But one of the things that Koren is into is health and fitness. Okay. This lady's got some guns. Well, I'll put her on the spot. Maybe she'll flex some muscles for us in a minute. But she has an experience. Oh, she's gonna show us. Come on, show us. Look at, you gotta raise it up. Look at that. Y'all see that gun right here? My mom's on the yeah. My mom's on the other side of the camera, and she said, wow. We gotta focus, lock in.
Yes.
We're gonna talk about health and fitness today. Is anybody else out there got some little flabby flab going on? And y'all know right now when we're taping this, it's November. You know what's about to happen. You know what's about to go down for many of us. How we eat and then we crash. Oh. You know, you get that crash, that sugar crash. You eat, and then 2 minutes later, you're out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Am I the only one?
No.
It's real.
It's a real thing.
I gotta stop.
Yeah.
My guest, she's going, look, I'm making you hungry. My guest, Koren Townsend. You want to introduce yourself?
I will.
Yeah.
The Tabatha is such a blessing. Thank you for having me.
You're quite
Thank
welcome.
you for this conversation. I know we've had many conversations over the years about a lot of topics. And this is one topic that I could talk about all day long, health, fitness, and wellness all day. I am Koren Townsend, born and raised in Carrboro, North Carolina.
Carrboro.
Went to NC State as a math major and a computer programming minor. Been in tech my whole life, programming, engineer. Currently, I'm a senior operations manager at Red Hat in our AI engineering department. I've been married to Andre Townsend for 20 years. I will celebrate our 21st anniversary next April.
Oh,
I know. Time is fine. I have two wonderful sons, Brandon, who's 17, and Justin, who is 15. Brandon is a rising senior and about to graduate. So we'll be halfway. Yeah. Yeah. Halfway at empty nesting. So that is all. It's been a blessing. I am a daughter, a sister, auntie, a great auntie, actually. It's crazy. So life is good. And as we were talking, I am all about fitness and health. And I've recently got my personal training certification.
No way. What? I didn't know that.
Surprise. I got my personal training certification.
Congratulations.
And you know, that's something
I did not share that.
I purposely. I wanted to surprise you.
Oh, that is Exciting. You got one more notch on your resume.
One more thing. Something I've been thinking about for probably 10 years now to do.
Wow.
Finally got that done about a month ago. Yeah, a month ago. So working on that. Because corporate America may not last forever. So I need to plan for the future. So this is part of that planning for the future. I am also a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I'm a member of Jack and Jill of America Incorporated. I have the Raleigh Lake chapter. And I run a STEM camp called Clark Academy every summer to get our people more involved, or rising fourth and fifth graders involved in robotics and engineering, which I love. I love all things STEM. I love diversity. I love just exposing our children to engineering and those tech fields, and which Tabatha has also graciously volunteered with many years. So I appreciate you for that.
It helps my sons, honey. I'm all in.
Yeah, and so and your sons have been volunteers as well. My sons work for the academy as well. And yeah,
your resume is
huge. And now personal training, which I'm getting into that, and bodybuilding, and just
You notice how she just threw the bodybuilding in there. How you want to talk about the medals that you won with bodybuilding?
I have won several medals bodybuilding. I've come
yeah, there we go.
First place twice in multiple classes during those competitions. I love we can get more into. I love the structure. I love what it brings, not just physically but mentally. I was talking to a good friend today who was also in the gym this morning doing cardio, and we were talking about just you have to love the process because the competition day is one day, and sometimes you're only on stage for 5 minutes. You have to love the process, and that's something that we can talk about more in depth.
Everybody take a deep breath. So today we're doing Let's Talk with Tabatha Love, and I have a guest. Her name is Koren Townsend. And if you missed it or if you're just now joining, Koren is a woman, wife, a mother, an aunt, a daughter. She is a businesswoman. She is now a personal trainer. She's a bodybuilder. She is on boards. I'm on the board of Her Spark, which is another STEM academy that a friend does. I'm on her advisory board. I've been doing that for probably 3 years now. Yeah, I just love exposing our children to STEM. I was exposed at a young age, and I think it's very beneficial for our kids. Not that they would ever go into STEM, but I'm just saying just to have the option and have that exposure. So some of you may say, what is STEM? And STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics?
Yes.
Okay. And so basically that's the acronym because there's, I think now I could be wrong, but here in America, we're not always known as being very strong in science and math and engineering, and particularly in the African American community, that's not something that we're known as being one of our strengths. You'll have a lot of STEM schools, you'll have a lot of STEM programs, and to advance children in science, engineering, technology, and mathematics. And then you'll see some of those programs, again, where the African American community, children are a little standoffish or not necessarily exposed to. And so then Koren, as she said, runs camp and is involved in different organizations and programs to help promote, to help advertise, to help make it accessible, and to help bring awareness and hands-on experience to bring that to the table. And the company that she works for, Red Hat, has supported that. NC State, where she went to school, has supported those efforts and given her a platform or encouraged that platform. So that part is important. That part, being in corporate America, plays a background to the topic that we're going to talk about. Because remember, in the very beginning, I said we're going to talk about health and wellness. We're not talking about STEM today. We're talking about health and wellness, but how her background plays a part is that it gives you an idea of who she is. It gives you an idea of her lifestyle. Because she's involved in Delta Sigma Theta and she holds leadership roles there. Because she's involved in Jack and Jill and she holds leadership roles in that. Because she's involved in her church, and because she's involved in her community, because she's involved in her job, she's in leadership roles in all of that. And guys, remember I said she's a wife? Remember how I said she's a mother? She said she's been married 20 years. 20 years. And then her oldest child is 17.
I know.
Right? And so in corporate America, involved in all of these different things, multitasking here, there, doing this and that. Many times, how many of us say, what? What's my name today? And you want me to do what? And and my capacity, I can't take anymore. And many times as the woman, we put ourselves in the back seat. Many times we don't take care of ourselves. And today, Koren is talking to us about health and wellness, right? She's going to share some tips, share some things that she has experienced in her personal journey, because she's rattling off all of these things. But when I met Koren did not have that gun that she poked out here. Koren, what you benching right now?
For my division, bench pressing is not necessary.
What you lift?
I can leg press probably, like the most I've done was maybe 350, 360.
Koren, stop.
So
how tall are you, babe?
5'2".
Koren is 5'2".
5'2".
Let me see. 5'2". And she's bench press, leg press? Leg press. 3 what, baby?
Like 350.
She said 350. Seriously, guys? Now, I understand what she's saying. What she's saying is bodybuilding, you're building the muscle and then you're displaying it, right? It's not weight lifting. That's different. However, to define those muscles, she's working out. And so she's taking away the fat in her body and turning it to muscle. My point that I was trying to get, the quick point, was girlfriend didn't have all of that when I first met her.
It's been a journey.
So how did she get there? What did she do? How did you go from, is it okay to ask you, what was your weight when I first met you?
Yeah, so we met before the pandemic. So that was 2019-ish.
We met at our children's school.
18, something like that. So at that time, I was probably at my highest weight, which was about 162 pounds.
162.
I know for some people it's not, but I'm only 5'2". So I'm a very short statured woman anyway. My frame is not big. Some people who are taller than me make 162 is not a big deal. But for me, my height, that was in a very unhealthy range. A lot because I was very prone to high blood pressure and hypertension, which at the time fluctuated with my weight. And I knew when my weight goes up, my blood pressure goes up. And so the doctor wanted me to go on blood pressure meds. I can talk about this story, like just the journey. So before the pandemic, weight was up. They wanted to put me on blood pressure meds. I was like, at the time, the gyms were closed, so I couldn't really go to the gym. I always loved the gym. I've been going to the gym since I was a senior in high school. My first weightlifting class, my senior year in high school. Always been about weightlifting in college, adult years. And then, I was the only female in my weightlifting class in high school. I didn't know then, but I realized, and I was like, that was something. I wasn't able to, the whole football team, because I needed an extra credit.
And it didn't bother you at all, did it?
To graduate. Yeah.
Didn't bother you.
I was like, what? Okay. It was either that or study hall. I was like, I don't want to sit in a room doing nothing. So I was like, let me go weightlifting. And then I just always had a love of exercise, fitness, and movement. My mom always got me. I remember starting walking with her when I was in middle school, and we would just walk the track at my middle school after school, and ever since then, it's just been something that's been a part of me that I don't know what to do without movement.
You can talk about this later, but you can be one size, and that could be a lot.
Yes.
Or it could be little, depending on your frame, depending on whether that's muscle, whether it's fat. But the other thing that I wanted to say, you said at your peak, because you weren't always on the obese side. You weren't always on the high end.
Always, my entire life, I've struggled with my weight. As far as back as I can remember. Since puberty, I remember always struggling with my weight. Looking at my pictures even from elementary school.
Really?
I was an overweight child.
So because when I met you, you might have been heavier, but you didn't, to the natural eye, you didn't look overweight. Yeah. Did other people said that to you?
I've gone up and down with, it was after the first time I really lost a significant amount was after I gave birth to Brandon, my oldest son, and I was breastfeeding. And
breastfeeding do it?
And I didn't realize how much breastfeeding.
Oh, yeah. That was a gem.
Without doing anything.
Girl. Because they drinking all your
I
calories.
was like, come on, look.
Yeah.
And so I lost probably 30 pounds just breastfeeding.
Just breastfeeding.
But then he stopped breastfeeding.
Yeah.
Gained it all back.
Yeah.
Because I didn't learn. That's one thing that, what the bodybuilders taught me. You have to learn the habits. It's not just about losing the weight. Anybody can lose weight. It's about learning the habits to keep the weight off. The weight loss is easy. It's keeping it off is the hard part.
So lead in with that.
Yeah.
Take us on this. Come on.
So
let's go.
Structure, accountability. Okay. So coming out of the pandemic, my husband loved to cook. He was a cook.
He's a good cook, right?
He was an excellent cook. He was in the military. His station was the commissary, the kitchen. So he learned how to cook for large groups of people. Loves to cook. Great cook. He's cooking for Thanksgiving. Which I'm so looking forward to that. And so during the pandemic, the four of us at the house, couldn't go nowhere. What else am I going to do? I'm bored. Probably a little bit I do think looking back, not just self-diagnosing me, a little bit on the depressed side because everything got taken away. Activities, the gym, all that got taken away. And so what else is there to do? Eat. Even though I was working out every day. We ended up getting a Peloton during the pandemic and I still gained another 20 pounds. And so.
Stop.
Okay.
Did y'all hear what she just said? Okay, so I'm pausing you. We're talking today is Let's Talk with Tabatha Love. We're talking to Koren Townsend. She's talking to us about health and wellness and where we are in this journey. She said, if you heard what she said, catching you up, she's a woman. She's a wife. She's a mother. She has all these different roles. She's coming from corporate America. That's stress, baby. Okay, stress. Yes. She's got lots of different deadlines. She's got this high pressure job. We didn't even talk about all the things that she's went in on her job. Because at one point she was laid off. She had another job and she found another part in the organization. She had to learn new roles. She was traveling with that job for a little bit, once or twice, a little travel. Her husband traveled quite a bit. So she was left with the children and juggling with the children, and the children played sports, band, and all these different commitments. She didn't say all of that, but those are the things that I know from behind the scenes because I'm trying to put all this information in here so you can hear what this woman is saying. She's saying she struggled with weight. She started off high school weightlifting. Her brain is a math brain. She went to NC State. She was doing mathematics. She's working in a tech company. She's like science, technology, engineering.
So, yes. Okay. I like structure, especially my workouts and my food. Structure.
But in math and technology, it doesn't work if you don't have structure.
Yes. Yeah. There's an order to things. It is what they call like ones and zeros. Like it's the definitive thing, right? It's not as creative and artsy where it's, you could cut and go with the flow. Like it's you need certain things. It's one thing I learned about bodybuilding, that it is a science and it's no one size fits all, but there is an order to how it is done.
I'm pausing you again. Setting it up. Because so you'll know who's talking to you. You'll know how to appreciate what she's saying. She's saying she had that brain. She had that in her, but she struggled. She was working out in the pandemic. 2020 hit. Everything's taken away. She's not moving and going all the time. So things are out, but she's at home. Her husband loves to cook, a great cook. And had a Peloton, that the side thing that said, come on, let's go.
And dumbbells at the house.
Dumbbells. Had a gym, I think, at one point in the house. And still gained weight. Has anybody been there? But she's not that anymore. How did you get to where you are? And how did health and wellness affect that?
Absolutely. Yeah. And coming out of the pandemic, gaining the weight, 20 pounds. I said, okay, they wouldn't put me on blood pressure meds. I was like, you know what? I was in denial and probably should have been on blood pressure meds a year and a half before they said you need to be on them. And I was in denial. I was like, no, I need to work out every day. No. And so what ended up happening, I got a coach. One of my friends, I was using her coach because she was already into bodybuilding. So she was like, you can go.
Now, what type of coach was it?
She was a personal trainer.
Okay. Because there's all kind of coaches. There's a life coach.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everybody can use all of them. And I've had all of them. And having that coach, she gave me structure. She gave me a meal plan. She gave me a workout plan for the gym. That at that time, this was 2022.
Okay.
And I decided to go back to the gym. Now I'm a germaphobe. So I'm at the gym with my mask on. You come near me, I'm a germaphobe. Don't come breathing on me at the gym. Don't come talking to me. So I'm at the gym with my surgical mask on. And I decided, I was like, now is the time. I got to make a change. Started that. It was in February of 22. About 6 months after that, my coach said, hey, you're doing great progress. I probably lost 30 pounds at that point.
Wow.
She said, do you want to get on stage? And I'd already been thinking about getting on stage. So it wasn't a new concept. And I had been thinking about that for stage as a competition, a bodybuilding competition stage. And I said, yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Pause. Bodybuilding means what now?
So bodybuilding is the sport of literally crafting your muscles to look a certain way to be judged on stage. That's really what it is. It is a sport of the physique. It is different for whatever category you're in. Men and women are different. There's different categories for women, different categories for men. And it also depends on your height. And for men, sometimes it depends on their weight. So all of that matters. And it's about getting your muscles to look a certain way. That's really the art of bodybuilding.
Is that where you wear that little bikini and that little G-string?
So for females, you're wearing a little blinged out bikini and your little, what do you call it? Your clear heels, there's another name for that sometimes. And you get on stage and you pose in certain poses so that they can see the muscles that they need to see in order for you to be judged. Yes. And it requires extreme amounts of discipline, structure, training, posing, practice, all the things.
Did you really want to do that? Was that like a secret goal?
I'm not a girly girl, so I don't wear makeup. I wear makeup on today. I got on my yoga pants and my training shirt. That's not like being a girly girl. Yes, I can get my nails done and go get my makeup done. No, not.
But you have to do that.
But it's a presentation because it's a presentation. It's a performance. So that's a part of the performance piece, which I have come to learn to like and love.
Did you want to do that? Was that your goal in losing weight? Was that your goal?
It wasn't my goal in losing weight. Was to feel better.
And was it to get off that?
And to get off the blood pressure meds.
So did you eventually take the blood pressure meds?
At that time, no, I did not. Okay. Because my weight started to come down and my blood pressure started to stabilize. So
when your weight dropped, the blood pressure came down.
Yes. At that time.
And the weight dropped after you got the coach and got on the eating plan and all that. Yeah, so before that, did it come off when you were just exercising?
No, because I didn't have the structure on the food. The food structure was what I was missing. The working out, not a problem. I had to work out all day. Granted, at the time, I was also a runner. So hard cardio, like running, and bodybuilding don't really mix. Because you end up just burning off the muscle that you're trying to build. So it's contrary to itself that you got to keep your heart rate at a certain level when you're doing cardio so that you're burning fat and not muscle.
You hear that science, right?
There's a science behind it. So I was a runner. I did half marathons. I've done a full marathon. I've done several 5K. I love running.
Were you overweight when you were doing those?
Yes.
You hear that?
And I was like, I'm running, so I need to eat. And so I was still overweight and still running at the same time. But when you do bodybuilding, you have to focus on, you got to have a mindset shift. And I had to shift my mindset. I was doing CrossFit at the time too, which doesn't really mesh with bodybuilding in a sense because I loved it because it was variety. Like every workout was different.
Okay.
CrossFit is a challenge.
CrossFit is for those people who are in shape and know what they're doing. I went to a CrossFit. I was listening to some friends say, come on, Dad, let's go.
Yeah. CrossFit. I haven't done CrossFit in probably 3-4 years.
I couldn't walk for 2 hours.
Yeah. It's definitely a challenge. You got to love burpees to do CrossFit. I know.
Man.
Burpees is
literal tire, different workouts. Well, use the tire, use ropes, have you hanging, have you jumping, doing all kind of getting that.
And that doesn't really mesh with bodybuilding. Bodybuilding is, I was telling my friend today, if you don't like the repetition of doing the same thing for weeks, maybe months at a time, bodybuilding is not for you. Potentially, eating literally the same thing for months, bodybuilding is not for you. Do something else. But the structure, the consistency, the way that you build muscle is about doing the same thing over and over. You know how they say that you chop to get a tree down? You don't chop it in 1,000 different places and try to get the tree down. You chop it 1,000 times in the same spot.
What a wonderful example.
And that's exactly what bodybuilding is. It's about doing the same bicep curls 1,000 times for months on end, and then that's the development you're gonna get. And I say bicep curls because I hate bicep curls, but it works. And you got to get your mind around that part, if you want to be a successful bodybuilder.
We got to put a pin in it, as they say, because our time ran out.
Yeah.
We were just talking away. So we're going to do a part 2. We're going to wrap this segment up. This segment right now, it was an introductory segment where I had Miss Koren Townsend as my guest. Let's talk with Tabatha Love. And we're talking about health and wellness. When we're talking about a journey, basically, is what we've done. So we're putting a pin in it. You have to come back next week to hear part 2. Just come on over, join us, and then we'll be picking back up. Okay? All right. See you later next time. Bye.